I'm just carrying that pizza in. I don't think that guy, I think he was just saying, he was just kidding to make a video. I don't think it. But it was a little bit scary for a minute. He pulled up and said, F you to the guy with my neighbor. That was scary. Usually guys don't roll up. I didn't get it on video of him saying F you and rolling away. But it could have been like a mafia hit. He just got off his bike and had a backpack on him. And then the guy rolled up with the windows down and said, and was looking at him inside his, like, I never look inside people's garages. Stopped and was looking right in his garage. I swear to God, and looking at him, targeting him. Like they were about to do like a drive-by. And then they just said, fuck you, and went off. They said, this is the shooting. I don't know. I was about to get up and fucking run to get... Well, I would have had it on camera. Who knows what the hell? I don't know if he was aiming at me too. If he was aiming at me or if he was aiming at the neighbor. But I'm going inside. That, you know, some people are really hungry right now. Like I was really hungry for the Pizza Hut. It gets like that some places. That's why I work so hard on these videos. And my neighbor works hard too. They just got a new air conditioner. That was crazy. And the new thing. Anyways, well, yeah, don't get these pull aparts. I didn't get a new air conditioner, but I got air conditioning. I think, right when they said I was gonna, say I used to have a window air conditioner and all that. When I was younger. My air conditioner isn't even on. Here, hold on. I'll show you. My air conditioner ain't even on, boy. Whew. How do I do this? There it is. Oh. Cool. Yeah, I'm getting a new tattoo on the 31st. That's my big spend this month. I'll be suffering for the rest of the month eating disgusting. So this was the big mukbang. So no wonder, bud, I'm getting a new tattoo and I'm doing this. That might have been some kind of... Bro, they rolled up on him like fucking Mafia 2. There might have been someone jealous of me. There's a lot of people. But everyone's on ODSP and shit. Yeah. I remember when my brother would drive cars. Uh-oh. And I was like underage, 19. Look at this. I was underage, like 19 or whatever. And my brother, no, way younger than that. It's a whole different ballgame when you're driving these goddamn cars. There's road rage. There's all types of shit. I don't do any of that. That's a whole different Ontario and Canada. Yeah, I'm not the person in Canada necessarily. It's the complete opposite. You don't want to be anything like us or like me. Horrible. I mean, look at how obese he is. What the fuck is draining all over the motherfucking table, Tom? Holy motherfucking shit. Not all over my goddamn pizzas. Not on my computer either. Putting this over here. He's got Lysol wipes, bud. Well, some of it can be cleaned up. That's why they built these units with the linoleum tile. Yeah, it was nice to see the newspaper down in the main lobby now. Lysol wipes. I keep my place relatively clean. And it shows Bruce County Housing really cares too. Which is good, because I care too. Anyways. Holy fuck, bud. Oh my god, bud. Now not the fucking Mountain Dew, bud. Not all over my goddamn pizza. Fuck, bud. Fuck. No, it isn't, bud. Look at this. Look at this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, man, look at this. That's the wrong shirt. Oh, my God. Oh, you better grab a towel. Maybe grab a towel. Maybe grab a towel. Maybe grab a towel. Yeah, it would be, but look at this. We can clean it up. I make sure to keep my unit clean. Not to face, sorry, not to face any eviction notices. No. Not to face any eviction notices. Used to be. I got off my conditions years ago. I got sentenced to 6 months in jail 7 years ago. How the hell would I be still on them charges 7 years ago? Fuck out of here. Do your calculations of the years, bud. I was sentenced in for a crime that happened in 2016. I got sentenced in 2017 or 2018. It's been 7 years since the time of the crime. I was only sentenced to 6 months. 7 years, time of the crime, it's now 2022 compared to 2016. That was 7 years ago. Completely relinquished. Probation, that was 5 years ago. I went through it. Oh, believe it or not, they did the same thing in Florida. My dad said, you have no idea what we put up with in Florida. No idea what we put up with in Florida when I had this small probation. Since the agreement was it was supposed to be completely relinquished of my record. I had this self-defense. No, that one, I swear to God, I just beat the kid up. His name was fucking Feliciano. He was talking, they were supposed to be all these Florida gangsters. Rick Ross was picking on me all the time. Him and God and the government would pick on everyone and all that. So then he had this little Feliciano, thought he could pick on me and shit. I threw that guy on the ground. He broke his arm. He was running. You should have seen him. It's classic. I wish I had it on video. Everybody knows him. He's in a little Boosie video. But I beat him up when he was younger. Broke his arm. He was running around his yard. And his fucking arm was twisting. He charged me. I beat it in court. He was saying, he was trying to sell me cigarettes. We were only like 12. Then he said he was going to fuck my mama or some shit. When he was like, he was with the cigarette, he said, I'm going to fuck your mom and shit like that. When we were kids, I had a go-kart. I seen him a week later. I didn't even mean to go to him. I was crossing by his house. I said, there's Feliciano. And back then, I knew Matt Earls, Sergeant Matt Earls, and I thought I was Cape Coral Police. So I didn't. I knew I wasn't Cape Coral. I was still Calusa Middle. We loved the show Cops and all that. So I roll up in my go-kart, and I fucking am sitting and pretending I'm an officer. So I'm like, there's that Feliciano, guilty of whatever, Cape Coral Police, and I hop out on him because I pretended. I don't know what the hell was wrong with me. I used to do, when we were kids, I used to do all these little fake little episodes. Like I'd just roll up on kids and be like, police, fucking search them and all that. And I wasn't. I was just a fellow kid. Boy, I put this boy fucking in line. Because he was going the route of, like I said, he had the cigarettes. And he was, the fucking the mama and all that. See, but then this was way before the Wagner. Yeah, so they caused the big divorce, my mom and they papa, and they think it's the mucho dinero and all that. But then it's the recuperation de dinero. What are they fuck? My balsamic is my favorite for the Italiano. But man, what the fuck, man? You better get it before it's soaked through your box. Feliciano, he was actually my friend. I had this disability. I was getting picked on left and right down in Florida. You're not a born in America American. You're just a illegal immigrant. When we moved down from Canada, it pissed because I wanted to be Cape Coral Police. I wanted to go through high school, go to the military, do something, make millions, whatever. As an American, but it got me so hot-headed down there because them Americans didn't know like how good Canada was. I was like, man, it really hurts my heart to hear how they would, I understood it in the end because they were my friends. But you know how like when you have a good friend and you hang out with them way too long and then you guys like don't talk for a little time? That's kind of how it was. It was like, hey, this is Florida. Like I was born in Canada. Like I know how great it was there. Why the hell would I push myself? The only thing that makes me wish I would have stayed was some of the benefits that they get. I come back to Canada, little I know, some people think I was a criminal enemy, but I wasn't. I just felt like, hey, me and Matt did our time. I did 6th, 7th, and 8th grade down in the U.S. I did 7th grade twice. We had our time at the time. My dad wasn't allowing me to make any money or anything. He was shutting everything down. Some of my family members were doing that, but at the same time, I wasn't speaking up as a man because I didn't like the environment I was in anyway. I didn't have the air conditioning. I knew that I could try to weasel my way in. I weaseled my way in, and then eventually, he weaseled his way in, and then he got so tired he couldn't keep up with it and cracked the nut. And luckily, I met that. I'll tell you what woman it was. It was, what's her name? Dr. Richard out of London. It's a huge city. I lived in London for 3 years. Byron, Nelson Street. And I still didn't get to explore all the places. And then, when I needed help, boy, did he explore. There wasn't nothing but exploration. I wish I had more videos, but man, did I explore. And I got to meet Dr. Richard in the hospital. That's something I always wanted to do, is go to the hospital. And that's on video. And she got me on the ODSP. I needed to. I was suffering. I wasn't suffering. Like I was doing well here in Canada. And I think I'll do well again. But now with the support and everything. And if I ever make it big or whatever, I never made it big. That's the realization as a kid. When I was 18, he could have made it a lot bigger had I had the proper support. I was all alone. There was one time I could have got $5 million, but I was just so scared in the streets of London. I didn't even have a firearm. I was 18 years old. My mom was down in Florida. My brother went to prison for 3.5 years. I was all alone in a 4-bedroom house. You have jealous weirdos. You have all these people that are just jealous that I work hard or whatever and develop things, and I'm a developer. They tried to prosecute me, but it used to be just a normal job, computer developer or whatever. And it is. The audits. When you become a computer developer, little did I know they audit what you're thinking and what you're doing. or even if you're surfing the web. I didn't know the algorithm. It's all a God algorithm. What is it? And I never listened to my police radio. I was blocking it out. Blocking it out. Because there was some bad stuff being said on this police radio. When I was a kid, I would just ignore it, right? I was like, that's impossible. Not in this world. Those people are, and then I'd block it out, block it out, block it out. And then it got to the point where my mind was like fucked up. I was like, what was all these bad things that were coming through that I just shut out? And that's when you start to realize, holy fuck, holy fuck, holy fuck, holy fuck. You know, because you're supposed to listen to those things. And because I was like deadbeat. He was Jesus Christ getting crucified. My dad used to crucify me. My brother crucified me after a while. Anyways, I got crucified a couple times. But it all worked out in the end. And I did it legally. So I'm stepping in the Mountain Dew that I've spilled. It's all over the floor. God damn it, it looks like cat piss. Wipe it up. Holy fuck. It's spreading. Holy fuck, that's spicy. It's got real jalapeno. It's got... I thought I was the only one that made a move. Then the neighbor, he got a new... Holy fuck, man. I think he was aiming it at me. Mm-hmm. What's it called? I don't know. Kyle Reister was embarrassed one time. Because sometimes I pull my pants up, bud. Like real shit, sometimes I just look like this, eh? I put it all the way, I pull them all the way up. He was embarrassed. He called the police on me for having my britches too high. He said, you allow a guy like this in Canada looking like this? This guy's been coming after me since middle school. But I like his role. A lot of the American kids or whatever, they call me a cash cow. I remember when I met that Lucas Sizemore. He's related to Bernie Sanders. It's his upper end. And he's made some good deals himself. Big kid. He has a Tesla. And he used to call me the cash cow. He used to sit back. He's from Indiana. He spotted me. I was this big cash cow. He used to sit beside me and chew gosh dang wheat or whatever. He was like the real Tom Sawyer in our American history. The real Americans were so good at American history. Because they was making it. I was reading it, they were making it. This spicy cheese is so goddamn spicy. It's the same as the goddamn other one except fucking spicy. Okay? Don't waste $50 out of your OSP. You can go get a whole week's groceries. Most people do one of these maybe once a month. They get a pizza, like a big pizza meal with their ODSP. Sometimes I don't. I try to save it. A lot of people save it, bud. Holy fuck. No, I don't get it by any violent means, I swear. Thank God. He's got real magical powers. Okay, I'll testify. That was one thing I grew up learning. Does God have magical powers? Yeah, he does. Anybody also has a personality, much like they say we were modeled after him or something. So he's got a human-like personality. That's one thing I experimented with him. Me and God are like in a full-time prayer chat room. We're not just praying for whatever, but no, you can piss him off and then shit, you start messing up. That's how I get hurt all the time. Or I say, God damn it, I have to change that. If I don't start changing it now after I've learned what that is, like God said, you get shut down or you die. It's hard to explain. He's got a temper. And he's let it out on me a couple times. And I accidentally flagged myself a couple times to see what the hell the system was. I've been doing that. And then I accidentally developed like a disease. Where I accidentally say the fucking worst shit that I didn't do sometimes. Like, I was like wondering, like, hey, if you say the wrong thing, I heard, was it an internet rumor? Was that when you say bomb on the phone or something like that, it triggers the government or something to listen to you or something like that? So then I was wondering, like, who's the government and all that. But I could have met them any other way. The way I met them was so pathetic. And it's not good because Matthew went right up to Obama and shook his hand right in Cape Coral, Florida. It was Vineyard Community Church where I was saved as a recollective adult, where I was able to recollect the church teachings. But even before then, I went to many houses of God here in Canada, and it was just very humble and quiet and all that. But then I went down to that community church, and it's all a community get-together. People are singing and dancing and praising God. I learned that perspective. I learned so many different perspectives. They even took me out on what I guess they would call missions, retreats. I went on a few retreats. They had older adult retreats. They have retreats and all that. Who knows if I'll ever be able to retreat. Back then, I was extremely poor. But I wasn't. I had clothes, but I didn't have a video camera and all that. But we just did activities. I call that poor now, but I was just a normal guy. Then I wanted to become this cash cow that carries the camera and gets the videos and all that. But back then, I was just a kid learning like everyone else, as many do. There's all different retreats. I think when you become an adult, that's when the video cameras and the pictures started coming out. Even back then, you'd see pictures, that's what they call it, pictures of the male retreat, or pictures from the female retreat, or the adult retreat, whatever it would be. Whereas the kids' retreats were more, hey, there would be group photos, and maybe people would take pictures from the... So believe it or not, I'm an adult, fully grown. Yeah, I'm a grown man. I just, hormone deficiency, I guess that would be called. I have a hormone issue. Where I kind of look like and feel like I'm still maybe 18, 19. I'm stuck at 18 or 19. It was my favorite year. It's when I started making money. 2012. I started to discover that the same feelings we used to get, or I used to get, maybe you guys got your feelings all together, but I don't. I just started feeling feelings I had 10 years ago. It's a 10-year cycle, I guess. Now when I think back to Jeremy eating his little Cracker Barrel, Star Wars or Star Trek? My friend Jeremy's the one that introduced me to Star Trek. But I would always say I like Star Wars. What about that new Star Wars? It was great. I've seen a bunch of them. It was Jeremy, though, that got me on that. Now I know how important Jeremy is in Texas. To Texas. Because I know another American named Miss Terry. That was the one that told me about and learned me about the Twilight Zone. And I'm a huge fan of the Twilight Zone. And I know how important Miss Terry is. Okay? So this fucking Jeremy Ludner is like, whoo. Okay? They're trying to really make it happen with him, they said. Because the government says they're not doing anything with their money. They say it's going to be Jeremy's money. So, well, because they're not doing anything with it. They have all this money in the bank, $15 million, and the government, the banking's making the investment. But then after Jeremy's dad dies and Jeremy dies, if they never spent it, it goes to the government. It goes to Ella the dog. That's right. It would go to the government of the United States. So Jeremy, they said, like, they were going to give me the money, believe it or not. But then that night, Jeremy, he made revelations. Jeremy was extremely childish. His dad told him and told him and told him again. But now Jeremy made it. So if you're having dark times eating pizza in your apartment or smoking pot, Jeremy even smoked pot before. He might be the U.S. president one day, that Jeremy Ludner. He smoked pot before, I tell you. And he was inhaling it. He was in College Park, okay? The same College Park Ludacris is from. And he was buying ounces of pot, okay? And it's illegal in Texas. And this boy was getting away with it. Hey, he's a celebrity, and he's rich. And it was all for a Canadian guy named me. This was before legalization. I said, boy, I'm up in Canada. He knew I was from Tennessee. Well, but I've been there. He used to live there for a year. And I was smoking weed. I said, boy, you got to try some of this. I'm sure they got somebody out in College Park that'll be able to get. And boy, did they have somebody out in College Park. And we used to drink and smoke. And then eventually, he was the type of guy with the marijuana. He tried it. He always wanted to try it. He smoked a couple ounces. And they got him off. He got right off it. He had his big celebration with me. And then he just never smoked it ever again. And he was drinking like a goddamn holy. Because you can't smoke too much and you can't drink too much. He might be smoking. Then he started doing the whole thing where you're living at home because he left his dorm. Originally, he was living at Texas A&M. Then he moved to Houston. Then he moved to here. Then he moved to... Okay, anyways, he's back in Cape. And he hides the marijuana. I witnessed him on webcam one time. His mom walked by, went outside or whatever, and then he goes outside, or he hides in his bathroom or something like that. And he goes with one of those pens or whatever, and that's how Jeremy gets. But he very rarely does it. Very rarely. It's only, and I see how they do it down there. That's pretty smart. He has his medical marijuana. Dad doesn't really want him used, which is a good thing because overuse of it is no good. That's why he was messing up. Yeah, that's why I messed up. Look at how big I am compared to Jeremy. Jeremy's a regular-sized human. Okay? Me and his dad are some straight couch potatoes. I sit in my office chair probably about 60% of the day, and he sits in his couch 60% of the day. I don't know where Jeremy sits. No, I think his dad goes from the couch to the kitchen to the office to the bedroom to the garage and all that. And he even goes to Disney. We still haven't determined if it was Disney World or Disneyland. I would be willing to bet, guess what? It's probably Disney, the one in California, to celebrate that FBI Russell Juma guy that spoiled the whole plan. I bet you it was out there in Cali.